Okay, I promised to make it quick. Our end of the year trip, very end of the year trip, was to a lake and we kayaked. And while swimming in the water and watching my children go by in groups of 2 or 3, I was struck by the beauty and symmetry of the class while in motion. And as the paddles of the kayak, which you know have two paddles, one student holds 2 paddles simultaneously. And for me this year has been given the tool from Tamara, bless you, of what am I feeling and what do I request? What am I feeling? What do I request? And this is the tool that we've started to explore and use to propel our kayak through the ocean of feelings. And when I saw the children paddling, when your head is 6 inches above the water, there's a yellow boat, a kayak that's moving quickly, and the rhythm that they established naturally on their own, where the paddles are flashing in the sunlight and striking the water, is I identify, I request. What am I feeling? And this movement, they all became synchronized, and it's a glorious experience. So I'm going to share the experience by building the kayak for you, with the children sitting on, as if they could all be on one kayak. And I want you to feel the group energy that they create together, because it will never be the same again after today. Okay? So Esme, yeah, there's some who are panicked. Esme, come up first. You have to use the box. There's no choice. Esme is a fountain of energy. I think in the past, many past lives, she was a hockey player or a football player. Fearless and full energy. Sometimes she gets hurt, but in a second, she brushes it off. She's quick to express her opinions and let you know how she's feeling. What I saw on the lake was that Esme sat in the front of the boat, and her radiant joy was beaming in front of all of them. She led with joy. I'd like to give Esme the award for striving for joy and for you to sit in the front of my kayak. It's fun to embarrass them, yes. Amara. Want to be on the box?
No.
Yeah, I'll be on the box. And she has the water theme on. Yes. So I didn't know Amara. She came and, wow, in a good way, yes. Amara is a baker. I've never had a student in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade who can bake like Amara. So there's a benefit to having Amara in your class. Amara, she uses her skills for other people too. She would organize parties. Again, hear the word organize. She would organize parties. And I was struck by the first one. By the 4th or 5th one, I was still amazed and kind of thunderstruck by the creativity of new parties and glitter with balloons and tape, 10 rolls of tape in one day to decorate the ceilings or in the walls. And to make things out of nothing. She would pull things out of my closet that I hadn't seen in years. The organizational skill is way beyond 4th grade. It's a gift. And she applies it in her academics. So, most kids, when you give Greek or Latin root spelling words, it's like, what? Study? So, and I try to make it all very regular. I'll speed up. So on Thursday, it's the spelling test day, and Amara has studied and knows them all and could give the test. And Balarama, in his usual fashion, decides that Thursday's not the day for the test. And every other child is, yay! And Amara says, oh no. Because she studied and applied herself and was ready to ace that test, right? Yeah. So Amara is going to succeed in any venture that she chooses because she has this natural skill to marshal her energy and organize it and keep going forward. But I don't want to give her the gold or award for that. It's a very different kind of award. It has to do with organizing yourself, sort of. It's for her courage to be herself, even though her friends want to put beards on and talk like gruff men and stomp around and drool. That's not Amara's cup of tea. And so she is herself. And I want to award her for the courage to be herself. So the boat is striving for joy, followed by courage. To go out and strive in life. Number 3 is, Jeffrey, are you here? Jeffrey. You may be able to tell that Jeffrey is the shy, quiet type. Yeah. And you think that goes all the way into the center of him, but it doesn't. He hides it really well. And I think on our first art class, he drew this picture. It was undirected. And I'll put it up here. I want you to know that this picture has made me smile and laugh every day. And it's made every high schooler coming to my biology class who goes up the stairs, right? They see this and they giggle. And for example, I cleaned out Jeffrey's desk yesterday, and in between all these papers were cartoons of similar faces, and I couldn't help but giggle, because here amongst spelling words and English papers are these cartoons of figures that are delightful. And so I wanted to elicit from him this character, his personality that sees, it's not silliness, but it has a silly vibration, and how he expresses it and shares it with us in a quiet way. And so the first time that Jeffrey responded when I asked a question in class, I think he said, wow. And it was like, you said something. I'm gonna work you until I get you a sentence. Right, Kathy? And so on the day that the sentence popped out, it was a celebration of pickle happiness. So I'd like to give Jeffrey the award for self-expression. It's going to get crowded on our kayak. Okay, Cassius. First met Cassius, and it was talkative. He was quick. He was witty. he's a super eater, which you wouldn't think. Now, you might think that of me, which is true, but I am outdone by Cassius. Yes, Cassius will start his lunch at 8:33. If he arrives early, it could be as early as 8:25. And it will be done before at PE, he could take some down with him. So there's this appetite for life. An appetite for life. He has heightened physical skills. Smart and all that stuff, sure. Excellent, not sure, excellent. But the shining thing that's stunning is the physical skill. Never has done something, and he's a natural. You stick it in the left hand, because I'm left-handed, and he'll shift it to the right side and say, "Is this how you do it?" And he's like, "Have you ever played this game?" And it's not just one game, but it's everything. There's this innate ability to go with motion and movement. However, there's a little fear about losing. And how does he respond? If you have a really keen intellect, you build a strategy. And that's what I'd like to give Cassius the award for, is that when you have something that you're afraid of or that you're not good at, you need a strategy. And Cassius develops his own strategies to deal with things that he knows. He knows what he's working on. And so in all the things where he felt like the sixth grader was better than him, he developed a strategy. And at the end, yesterday, he beat us all. Your award is for risk-taking and strategy-making. I see my kayak isn't working yet. The paddles aren't moving. Okay, next, Liam. They're getting taller. Liam has a keen intellect.
Yeah.
He gathers information and will become an expert at whatever he chooses to become an expert at. This year, he's been acquiring physical skills. Yeah, like how to kick a ball, how to throw a ball across the gym and hit Balarama in the head. Really good. His big lesson in this year has been going from a solo expert into a team consciousness, a team awareness. And so he has to let down the barrier, if I may say so. He has to let down his intellectual barrier and be receptive and notice what his friends and teammates are doing, and then adapt to it. So Liam is learning the art of compromise. How do I give up a little of what I want to be a part of a team? So Liam, I congratulate you on the art of compromise. And if you have ever ridden in a kayak, you know that you have to work together. Otherwise, your paddles clash and you don't go anywhere. So in the kayak of life, compromise is a big skill to learn. Number Izzy. Energy, the 3 E's, energy, enthusiasm, and explore, pop right up. I think you should change your name to Emily maybe, or another E name. Can we think of one? Never mind. Weird idea. Okay. Very expressive. You will see Izzy, when we went to the Sequoia National Park and we saw the trees the first time, I could hear her squealing at least a half mile away. And I knew it was her voice. And so there's this expressive joy that just bubbles up. And you would have seen that if you were here for our school play when she played good old Veruca. And she says, my favorite line, if that silly, I only have a silly old hamster. Yeah. She says it with so much enthusiasm and joy. It's delightful. She's delightful. There's a sweetness and there's the sparkle of mischievousness. There's a sprite that lives inside her. Yes. Okay. But the most important part in the classroom is all of this added up is her willingness to try even when things are hard. It's just like, oh, this is what we're doing? I'll do it. There's no question. There's no, I don't want to. It's yes, willingness to try. Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you.
Sabina. She's saying in her mind, I can hear it. Oh no. Sabina's quiet and creative. She pretends to be shy. She's learned how to be sneaky and gets me in the back when I least expect it when we're playing dodgeball. Yes? Yep. And I think, though, the shyness is a cover-up for the hidden feeler that's inside her. She is gifted intellectually, but I think along with the gift is a huge heart that feels everything. And the reason I say that is because, again, this class has a lot of exceptional skills. Very young age, she can feel or connect. So as an adult, we're taught to, this plus this is this, very mathematical, very scientific. And when you give this information to Sabina, she quickly connects the two and comes forward with a revelation, a personal revelation. She shares her experience with the two components and puts them together without me hinting at it. She understands. Not only does she understand the connection, but she expresses it. It's delightfully enjoyable as a teacher when I say, what kind of rock? How boring, right? What kind of rock is this? We went on the Yuba River, and you get the obvious, it's a gray rock. And I say, well, yes, what color is it? What colors do you see? And Sabina immediately says, black, white, gray. And everybody then says, oh yeah. But before that, discrimination, it was only gray. And so, oh, what are you looking at? What is black? And Sabina will say, those are crystals. It's like, oh, yes. So Sabina has this connectivity of what she sees and then bringing it together. And she notices that it's different than the rock that we stop at next. It's a different type of rock. There's no crystals. She says it's different. Wonderful. So her discrimination is going to go a long ways for her because she can already make from the little to the big and from the big to the little. She makes these connections. And I wanted to award her, it sounds different than what I've just described, but on our kayak of life, this person who can see the little and adapt and make a big picture, this is the pathfinder. This is the Sacagawea. She can find her way in the dark, in the forest. She knows her way. Sabina, pathfinder. Anella, unveiled. She's unveiled. Anella is a powerhouse. She has physical skills that, again, another strong personality, and she has aim, and she can hit me in the head across the gymnasium. and have this little giggle that goes with it. And so it's delightful. There's a powerhouse inside that is manifesting. And this year, Anella has had, and it's pretty self-confident. It expresses itself. And so in this self-confident expression, we're learning the art of communication. And we've practiced, again, remember the paddles of the kayak. My feeling, I'm feeling, I request. I'm feeling, I make a request. It is such a liberating tool to paddle our boat. And Anella is learning this with great joy. It's fun to see her practice with me. She says, Balarama, I request. Balarama, I request. So your award is for communications. O'Shea, we're getting close to the back end of the kayak. After spring break, the kids make giant leaps forward. It's like they don't become different people, but there's a new leaf or a new shade that comes forward, and he's reading my notes, and he's also reading the award, because I keep it a surprise. So, he has, which you can see just by looking at him, a sweetness and a devilishness that sparkles in the corners of the eye. Go ahead, show it. What I saw, and since April, and what really struck me last week was I was kind of posing to O'Shea, what should we do next September, assuming that he's coming? And I said, O'Shea, what would you think about going on a 5.5-mile backpack to the beach where there's a giant waterfall? And he says, yes, I really want to do that. I said, well, wait a minute, it's 5 miles and you have to carry a pack, and I'm kind of backpedaling. I said, would you rather go where it's only 1.5 miles and it's kind of easy? And he says, no, I want that challenge. And I've seen this since April. O'Shea has gone through a change. And in math, where it used to be kind of painful, and you saw this reoccurring theme in the other kids too, math is kind of painful for some of us. And O'Shea has made the transition to, I want that challenge. I'm going to sit down and do that. And so I want to award him the desire for a challenge on our kayak. Satya. Satya is my Charlie Bucket. Or in a Jeeves or P.G. Woodhouse, he has the smile that wins. And he has a sweetness, a thoughtfulness, a truthfulness, an honesty, a gentleness that just exudes from him. And I have to make this goofy analogy. He knows what I'm going to say, I can tell. Is that I saw this silly movie, The Defenders of the Galaxy. And there's Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm old. Guardians of the Galaxy. And the littlest character, the smallest character, walks through while the galaxy is being destroyed, the sweetness, the gentleness, the calmness, walks through all the perils of the galaxy and emerges unscathed. And this sweetness, I want you to see, is at the back of the boat because it's going to be sitting next to the rudder. And so the sweetness guides our boat through life, and the gentleness and calmness guides us through all the obstacles and terror that could be there before us. We remember to touch it and stay in the flow, and all good things come to us. So Satya, for playfulness and staying in the flow. Here comes my engine, my rudder, my sixth grader. This is it. This has been all year. In the very beginning, Jaden got caught in a whirlpool of comparison. And we know that comparison is the death of us. When we compare ourselves to other people, it only diminishes our own power and makes us feel bad. And he got caught in that little whirlpool. But then something happened. He changed all on his own. I think while he was in that whirlpool, he forgot his gifts, because all he could see was what he didn't have. He remembered his gifts, and he came out of a fog. And one day during math, all of a sudden, math wasn't an obstacle for him, and he was whizzing through. In fact, he was finished first. And he said, "What happened?" And he said, "I've come out of a fog." And I think he remembered who he was, his gifts. So I wanted to give Jaden his award. And all year, he has been the rudder of our kayak. His concern for others has steered it around many obstacles. He has supported everyone in class. And so I want to give him the Oarsman Steermanship Award for concern for others. Here's your kayak.